Great news. You've got an interview with a private equity backed or a private equity firm directly with regards to a private equity backed opportunity. You're a C-suite executive, chief exec, CFO, COO, or something similar to that level, and you've got your opportunity to interview with a private equity firm for an opportunity in a PE-backed business. What I'd like to go through is some of the questions that I highly recommend that you ask. Here is a list, add to it, subtract from it, but make sure that you are prepared with loads of questions. We are measured on the questions that we ask, not so much on the answers that we give. So putting your interview under pressure, putting them through the mill, asking really good questions will only raise your stakes, raise your position, and raise the opportunity that you secure this role. So feedback I get time and time again from C-suite executives on when they've gone to interview from private equity firms, we were surprised, disappointed at the number of questions this person had to ask about this business. You may have done all the research, you may have already looked into it. There's no way you know everything about this company. Why did the private equity firm invest in it, etc., etc. I'm going to go through some example questions for you guys to use, but do prepare questions, write them down, take it on a notepad. People think, oh, it's amateur to take it. No, it isn't. Take a notepad in. I love it when candidates come in and they've got a notepad, they've got it full of questions and they're ticking them off as they go through. I think that's brilliant, and I think it's an essential way of operating. You would never go into an acquisition meeting to acquire an add-on business or to sell to a company and present to investment bankers if you didn't have a lot of questions prepared and want to know about them. So make sure that you are preparing. So questions on the company. What does the business have or do that beats its competitors? From what you've seen, do the competitors of this company do better than this business? How would you describe the culture of the organization? And then as a second to that, what needs to pivot in this culture in order for this business to achieve its goals? How would you rate the middle management team out of 10, 10 being the best, 1 being the worst? And what do you believe would make this middle management team a 10? What are the company's goals for you guys to take this through to a liquidity event? Once you get that information, what needs to happen in the interim for those to be successful? ERP system implementation, 3 acquisitions. Get that information out of the client. What are the goals and what do you believe needs to happen in order to allow those goals to materialize? Question about the role. Within the first year, what would success look like for this person, if I'd blown it out of the water? So within your wider portfolio companies, what do all your top performing executives have in common? Then the top performers, maybe the 2 or 3 CFOs, CEOs, whatever it is position you're going for, what is it that makes them great? Why are they so good in their position? What do you foresee as the biggest challenges that I, if I'm successful, will face working within this business as a CEO, CFO, whatever from there? If all the stars are aligned, and I asked you about the goals and you want to get the business there, if all the stars are aligned, everything goes really well, what would that look like? And B, what would that look like on exit? If it was a perfect scenario and everything you anticipate happened, the challenges were overcome, what would the perfect exit for this business look like? So there's a few examples of a few questions. There's a ton more that you can go through, and I suggest you Google online. I suggest you get into the detail of the company. I suggest you really go into the finances and do the research online if you can find information about it. Look at the acquisition details from the private equity firm made on the portfolio company. Look into the background, look into some of the team. Do a bit of Googling, do a bit of research if you can, if it's not confidential, through your network and your contacts who may know people, either maybe not in the business, but who may know the business and know the company, or clients that potentially they sell to, and do your research. The more you're prepared for this, the more chances you are of getting the opportunity. Too many people I see kind of come in with a bit of confidence, and I get that. If you're working in private equity, in my opinion, you are the best within the industry, or part of the best that's within the industry. But if you don't prepare well enough, someone else will, and they will get the role because they have done the detail and they have gone through, and therefore the client can see them as being the better option because they're as well prepared. So please do your research. What we'll do is we'll add some additional questions that you can ask as well into the notes below. And if you have any questions, please do reach out to me. My email address will be up on the screen as we speak at the moment. And obviously, if you are looking for a private equity backed C-suite or senior executive type position, we work across Europe and North America. I'd be delighted to help you and support you with making that next step. If I don't hear from you, all the best with your interview. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that this gives you some help with securing that role as a private equity backed C-suite executive.